Yeah.
We're speaking with Sheila Cherfilus-McCormick, running for Florida's 20th Congressional District.
And let's just also say, in case anybody jumps on, it's a special election. So this is actually coming up November 2nd is a primary. This is to fill an empty seat right now. So, this isn't next year. So I just want everyone to know.
No, we actually do have an election. And sometimes it is to your advantage to kind of have an open field. A lot of times people end up running at the same time.
The fact that your race will be the only one that's actually
a lot of attention.
Yeah, that is actually, I think, not a bad thing.
One of the things that I think really needs central focus going forward, because, obviously there was a big deal made about the census in the state. Who knows how we did if it was, we got another congressional district, and obviously that takes some degree of hard work, but we all know that gerrymandering is a very serious problem. Your district is emblematic of that tenfold. So can you talk about some of the difficult parts of running a race that basically has you, a resident of Miramar, having to, basically canvass and try to get votes all the way up to West Palm Beach? It's quite a lot of territory to cover.
Right. It's a lot, but thank God we have the stamina to cover it all. And what we're seeing really is that you have some areas that are really agricultural, and then you have some areas that are cities, and you have a few areas that are more residential, and trying to figure out what is the common need throughout. How do we meet the needs of everybody? And we're blessed because we can benefit from the cross use of everyone here. It's a shame that we don't have our neighbors, because where my district is, where I live in Miramar, right in between me and the other side of my district is District 20, and it makes no sense. So I literally have to go through District 23. I literally have to drive through Debbie Washman Schultz district to get to my other side of my district. And what is the number one factor that unites us? Color. That's it. We're the largest minority areas. So if anyone tries to say, oh, it's for another reason, it's not true. So that middle area that you're seeing, a lot of it is Everglades. So there's no
really that's the thing. It's swamp. It's alligators.
Yes,
and,
but what a lot of people
airboats.
But what a lot of people may not know, which I think is very important, and this is one of the big issues that exists within your congressional district, is that Belle Glade is one of the most impoverished Black areas in the entire state, and it's all the way in the middle of nowhere, and no one gives a damn about the people who live there, and probably haven't in a very long time. I can only imagine that this is an area that you are absolutely focused on, because Lord knows the establishment candidates are not going to pay any attention, but they really need help between Belle Glade and Loxahatchee. To me, I think
which for the people that don't know are to the left of the green.
Yeah, so I'm going to highlight it really close. Like, this is basically it right here, all the way out in this region.
But what's so crazy for people to understand how the massive size of that green space is, and this might not be the exact current, because I don't know which Congress this is, but it's give or take, this is essentially what it looks like. But for anybody who sees, if you look at the bottom of the green and there's that teeny little strip coming off to the right, what is above that little white space, that's my whole district, basically. In that little white space that Sheila's district completely goes around and encompasses basically every vulnerable Black community that it could get its hands on to squeeze into this blue district.
And let's be honest, this is there's been somewhat of a real political awakening in this country that hasn't happened probably since the 1960s. Maybe, if you want to even be generous, the 1980s. But it's really been a very long time since people really started paying attention to these little nuances of the political game, which is, we're going to draw these districts in a way that basically protects us from any competition.
Yeah.
We're going to make it so that we have 27 congressional districts in the state of Florida, and maybe 4 of them are truly competitive in the sense that they can be flipped from red to blue.
Right. That we don't have that. All of our seats are, for the most part, safe seats. This is why. So just, people, but it's interesting because from a distance, when you look at it, it doesn't look like it's that ridiculous. But then you get up close and you see this, like these tentacles, and it's like, it's just crazy.
I don't think there's anybody who would look at this and say, yeah, that makes sense. It doesn't make sense. And that's the whole point. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to be as difficult as possible as you can possibly make it. But you do have a distinct advantage over the rest of the candidates. Yep. You have run in this district twice now. You pretty much know it well. And I would assume that you know the areas that need to be focused on, especially, as I mentioned, Belle Glade, areas that have probably been neglected for a very long time.
Right. And, Belgrade is at the heart of our development plan because Belgrade has something that most of the parts of the district don't have. They have land. They have a lot of agriculture. A lot of our areas are food deserts. We have a lot of processed foods. When we look at the correlation between health and the ability to acquire healthy foods, it's definitely an issue. We have.
What happened?
I think the audio kicked.
Something happened. Something.
Go out.
There you go. You're back.
You're back.
Okay.
Now you're back.
Sorry about that. So when we have in the other areas, we have a lot of paraprofessionals who know how to give healthcare, but they don't have that in Belgrade. I was actually there a few weeks ago and we were talking to the people about what their needs are. And if more of us can see the opportunities in partnering together, then we can grow Belgrade. The people of Belgrade are wonderful. Like I said, there's a lot of things we could do there, and we have to partner together to make it happen. I want to get back to the map. A lot of people, when they look at that map, they feel like that middle area is a central real area. That's the Everglades. So no one lives in there. No one's there. So those tentacles are realistically where people actually live.
Right. That's the thing. Those three things are the populace.
Right. And so the middle section, if you're wondering why it goes there, it actually encompasses some places that are actually post-segregation. And people don't know that. That's where a lot of the Black population had to live during segregation. So it picks up those historical places. And what we see is a concentration of wealth that is outside of those areas, which is a huge issue. And that's why it comes out in peaks to capture those old areas. So if we're talking about economic justice, which this election definitely is, we have to take care of this the map. We have to ask ourselves, why are we subjecting ourselves and allowing ourselves to be in these positions?
So you're saying that like the Belgrade area, I mean, I just sort of had this like thought. So really promoting, sustainability there to share that with the people in other parts of your district would be really amazing. I mean, that would be really, I mean, why not take advantage of that they're all in the same district? I mean, that's the whole point.
Well, we could do it.
What is that? They're just nobody cares about the people in Belgrade,
Right. We can actually do that throughout the whole state or the lower half. So what I was proposing is that we just have grants there so we can have food trucks of natural food. Even if the food trucks were going to schools, going to senior homes, going to senior areas, that's where we have to be. We have to look at how do we promote healthy living with what we have while we're increasing jobs and stimulating our district. And so that's where my focus is. My focus is not on the regular co-signing topics that people have, because anybody can co-sign. What can I do to change that can make us grow better? Power of the pen. I can write them. I can enforce them and be creative in creating a new district where we are, or a new country where we're actually experiencing economic justice.
Yeah, I like the way that, obviously you and I think a lot alike on things, which is why we get along. And I'm a big supporter of yours. But, the idea that this district is carved any other way than to maintain this sort of like white patriarchy would be completely ignorant, because the areas that you're talking about, those rural areas, that to me is where we've always probably discriminated against Black farmers, the people that have ever had property and had land and then were kept out of our sort of agricultural business for whatever reason. And we're still doing that, by the way. We're still doing that to them.
Right. And we have to talk about our immigrant population, right? My parents are Haitian. My dad came from the Dominican Republic in Haiti. And so at Belgrade, we have a large population of Haitians and Jamaicans and Hispanics. Miramar, we have the same thing. And this is where we have to actually look at us from a cumulus. It's not just African Americans, but they're putting all minorities into that lump and pushing us aside, which limits the resources. So I'm excited to be the voice of action so we can turn that around.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.